Okay, going to do a little quick review for you. This one will be on the Sig P320. This is Sig Sauer's newest model that they released last year, around last summer, which was 2014. I bought this right after they were released, within the first couple weeks of their public release. Now, to get started, pistol is empty. Now, we'll start with the ergonomics of this. The pistol comes with what they call the medium grip frame. They have small, medium, and large. They do not come with the pistol because the grip frame is the entire outer polymer frame. But luckily, the medium works for most people. I have medium-sized hands. It does me fine. My fiance has hands that are slightly smaller than mine. She does just fine. And I've even seen people with larger hands say that it works fine for them as well. But you can customize it. You have to call up Sig and order a new grip frame. I'm not sure exactly what those prices are for the frames, but they're available from Sig. As far as the texturing, very good texturing. It's aggressive enough that you are not going to lose grip on it. It's not going to slide around in your hand, even when your hands are sweaty or greasy, but not so aggressive that it's going to be abrasive and painful to shoot after a lot of rounds. So I don't feel there is a need to change or add to this grip texture. Some people think it's a little too slick, so they want to put aftermarket grip enhancement to it, or do stippling. And if you feel it's necessary, then it's all well and good. It can be done. I personally don't feel it's necessary. There's plenty of stippling on the front and back strap, so no worries there. As far as the grip frames, there are different models of this 320. This is the full size, and full size grip, full size barrel. They have now what they call the carry model, which has a shorter slide and barrel, and the full size grip. Then they have the compact, which has a slightly shorter grip. I believe it's about half an inch shorter, and the same shorter barrel and slide of the carry. Then they have a subcompact version, which has an even shorter barrel and slide and smaller grip still. I believe the subcompact even comes with the small grip frame out of the box. Now, controls, easy to get to. Sigs tend to have their slide stops placed farther back, so you do have to watch when you get a grip that you don't ride that. I haven't ever had a problem with it. Some people do. I don't use this for reloads to drop the slide. I pull back on the slide manually to release it. So I don't really worry about it so much as I just know to be mindful of it. But like I said, my natural grip position, I haven't had a problem with it. Magazine release, very positive, easy to get to. Some people can reach it. I've never been able to reach any magazine release without adjusting my grip at all. No pistol I've ever picked up. So if you can, good. If not, it's not a big deal. But don't let people tell you have to be able to, because if you're like me, it's impossible. So don't think that is something you have to worry about. Only the smallest of pistols would I be able to do that with. Now, one of the big things about this trigger, or about this pistol, is the trigger. People love this trigger. And for a striker fired pistol, this is a very, very good trigger. There's a little bit of take up. You can feel the striker block being disengaged, but it's not like it's like notchy. It's just when you pull it back, you can tell that is when the striker block is lifted. You can and then hits the wall, that it breaks, and then there's a little bit of some over travel all the way to stop. Reset. Break. I personally don't think reset is absolutely necessary, especially on a gun you're going to be used for defense, because if you're training on reset, it could cause problems. If you only use one pistol and you only train on that one pistol, that's one thing. I shoot way too many different kind of pistols to try to train on reset on all of them. When I'm at the range, I can be slow and concentrating, and I can reach that reset. Then I've learned to subconsciously do it, but it's not something that I actively train for. But as I said, trigger. It's a little take up, smooth. It's not really notchy or anything, but you can definitely, I can hear it. That's I can feel the spring being compressed of the striker block. And then, as I said, it's a crisp break. There's no creep at all. A little more over travel than I like, as I said, but it's not bad. Very manageable trigger. One of the best striker fired triggers you can get out of the box on a striker fired pistol. HK VP9 has a very similar trigger feel. The PPQ as well. PPQ I think is a little better because it has a little bit shorter overall travel, a bit crisper break. I think it's a little bit smoother, but this is definitely no slouch in the trigger department. So that is a definite positive of this pistol. As far as the function on this pistol has been 100%. I haven't got a whole lot of rounds through it. I have about 500 rounds through it, but it has not malfunctioned a single time. It has been 100% reliable with every kind of ammo I've thrown through it. So that is always a good thing, to have a reliable pistol, and I have not heard of anybody having issues with these. Everybody that has one that I've read about says they have been 100% reliable. Maybe I've missed some stories online, but if they're out there, I think they're far and few between. Now, as far as disassembly on this pistol, very, very simple. You lock the slide back, rotate the takedown lever, slide goes forward, comes off. Of note on this pistol is if you have a magazine in place, takedown lever will not rotate. That is a feature they Sig put into the pistol to prevent you from leaving a loaded magazine in the weapon. Yes, you should always check. Yes, this should be common sense and common knowledge that you shouldn't do this. People have done it. That's why it's always safe. It's always important to pay attention. But Sig has made it so it's a non-issue. You can't take this thing apart with a magazine in place. Now, one of the special features of the Sig 320 that it borrowed from its parent, the 250, which was a double action only hammer fired gun, is the fact that it is modular. You take your takedown lever, you rotate it and wiggle it, and it pops out. Push on the back of the here, lift up and forward at the same time. Your frame comes off, and you have the internal mechanism. The internal mechanism and frame is what holds your serial number and shows through this window. This is your serialized part. This means you can buy a kit from Sig to put a different size grip on it, a different size slide, even a different caliber if you want. So if you live in states where it's difficult to get pistols, or you live somewhere that has restrictions on how many you can own, or you have to get licensed and approval for each one. I know when I was in the military I had to have approvals to get whenever I wanted to buy a firearm, and some states require you to get licenses and things. If for some reason that it's difficult for you to buy more than one pistol easily, then that could be a good thing, because you buy one pistol and you can outfit it in different ways with a kit. Some things of note on this thing is this bar right here. This is what disengages the sear and allows you to take down the weapon without having to pull the trigger. It disengages the sear and is activated by the the takedown lever. As it rotates, the bar goes all the way up. It fits a little angled piece that rotates it like a cam against the takedown lever to activate it. And another thing of note is how the disconnect works on this pistol. It's different than most other pistols in that it does not require the slide to function, or slide to move to function it, the disconnector. Now, since the sear is disconnected, I'll have to re-engage it. The slide stop holds back this bar. There's a ledge on the slide stop that engages another ledge on the bar that holds it back. As you can see, it popped forward. Now, watch the sear as I pull the trigger. The sear is right there. As you can see, as I pull it back, it goes down and it pops back up. That popping back up is the disconnect in action. As the trigger bar moves forward, it rotates against it pulls against a lever on the bottom of the sear. Sear rotates down, and after a certain point, it slips off the trigger bar slips off the bottom of the sear, and it becomes disengaged. The sear is allowed to move back up. So, another thing is, this is being one of the earlier productions. The new one has a slightly different trigger bar design. It has a higher area here that actually works as a out of battery prevention. It prevents it from firing out of battery. It works kind of like disconnectors do on a traditional pistol or other pistols, in that it rides in a little camming slot on the slide, and if the slide is out of place, it disconnects the trigger bar. It works the same way on this. I'm assuming that the disconnect still works the same way for the sear on the new model, that all that is for simply preventing out of battery firing. If not, that might be the way the new version works as far as the trigger disconnect as well. So, to put this back into place, your frame, there's a little ledge here, and inside the frame it meets with a little slot. It goes into place. I find that you push on the trigger a little bit, so it pops down in place. You see that little angled piece there? That is that bar I was talking about that disengages the sear. When it's like that, it's difficult to get the takedown lever back in place, but you can push it back down with a small screwdriver. And after you get it in place, make sure everything is down, push it as far back as it will go. Take this takedown lever, rotate it, wiggle it around, it'll get in place. The slide, standard for any other semi-auto, recoil spring, barrel. Reverse order to go back together. There's a front and back, there's a large diameter and then a smaller. Large goes to the rear. Of note is your striker. Right here, your striker, and the little lever right next to it. That is your striker block. To reassemble, slide back in place, lock it back up, rotate, and function check. We're good. Magazines. 17 round magazines in the full size. That is a lot of capacity. It's a very large pistol, so it's to be expected. But it's always nice to have as many 17 rounds in your pistol. So, as I said, ergonomics are excellent. It does have adjustable grips, but you have to get them from Sig. It has an excellent trigger. It is 100% reliable for me, and most everyone I have read about that has picked one up has also reported 100% reliability. So if you're in the market for a striker fired polymer pistol, definitely one you should be taking a look at. Very soft shooter, like most SIGs are. I do think it has a slightly more recoil than the 226 because it is a little lighter due to the polymer frame, but it's not a lot more recoil than a 226. So if you've shot a 226, you can kind of know how one of these will shoot for you as well. So if you're sensitive to recoil or know someone who is, this would be a good option for them. It is very controllable, easy to shoot, points naturally, very accurate. This one came with factory night sights. I believe they still do come with factory night sights for no extra cost, and I think I picked this one up, like I said, it was a little over 500 bucks, I think 525, and this was right after it was released, and I believe the price has come down a little bit now that the availability is out there. So, as I said, if you're looking for a striker fired pistol, definitely a contender because of all the positive aspects of this. There's not really too much negative I can say about it other than a little more over travel in that trigger than I like. And some people complain about the bar axis on a SIG. I have not found that to be a problem. I've always been able to shoot SIGs very well. So if something like this appeals to you, if the modularity seems to be something that you would like, that's an extra selling point. So definitely worth a look. And you're not going to be losing this out anything with this compared to any other polymer pistol out there that you can get. If you want striker fired, you're going to be hard pressed to find something significantly better out of the box, especially for the money that you pay for this. So if you get a chance, pick one up, try the trigger. If you can shoot one, do so. I'm pretty sure you'll probably fall in love with it.